Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Grand River Woodturners Guild February meeting. I'm Doug Brinks, the current president of this organization. We are located in beautiful, sunny downtown Grand Rapids. Although it's not so sunny today, it's more like blizzard conditions and yeah, kind of nasty out. But go ahead and take a walk. You'll enjoy it. Enjoy the cityscapes there. So let's see. I'm going to write down the business here. If we have any new members, we welcome them. I don't think we have any new members today, but if we have any guests, welcome guests. I know we have a couple guests from Texas here because Neil from Texas is doing our wood turner our demonstration today, and he's got a friend with him, so we have at least one guest. Um, if you are a guest and you're considering joining this organization because it looks like we're having a lot of fun. The truth is we are having a lot of fun. You can send an email to my email address here, our club's email address, and just say, hey, I want to join this club. Right now it's $35 for the year 2022, and that'll get you into all of our meetings and all of our our hosted meetings with special demonstrations that if we have a professional in, we don't charge extra for those to our members. So that's some of the things that we have to offer. And would we have our in-person meetings? We have lots of things to offer there, which we hope to get started in the next couple months back to in-person meetings. But we have library and we have supplies. We have a sharpening station, so we have all kinds of stuff all kinds of benefits for our members. So that's if you want to be a member, send us an email, and we'll send you the information that needed to join our organization. Our supply store, speaking of that, is open on Square. So if you want to pick up, order some supplies, pickup will be next Saturday from 9 to 9:30 at the Jam. So you have to be able to pick up your stuff. We've added in some 7 boxes of wood, various wood blanks from the Larry Truss estate. He had in his trust to donate us a bunch of wood and some tools. So we picked those up, and they are in our store, and we'll have more of those as we get into in-person meetings where we'll put them on the raffle table and things like that. So that's in our store. And speaking of trust, if you want to put some kind of a donation into your trust, we have a charitable bequest form that we've now added to our newsletter, where you can fill that out with your family members and put it in your trust if you want to make a donation to the guild at some point in time. So that form is on our newsletter. You can take it down, take a look at it. It's just a basic form that you can fill out and then put it in with your will or your trust, and it'll be there for whenever needed. Festival of the Arts is going to go on this year, downtown Grand Rapids. It's the first weekend in June 3rd through 6th. Some of our members have a tent there. If you want to get in on that, you are more than welcome to get into that. They're looking for any members who want to get with them on being in the sales tent. So this is a tent that they have downtown at the Festival of the Arts, and it's a pretty good market for selling stuff. They roll through 500,000 people in 2 days, and a lot of them go through the art tents. So if you're a wood turner and you've thought about selling your stuff someplace, somewhere, somehow, and you don't really know how to get into it, this is an excellent opportunity to get into that, because you'll be down there with other wood turners. They'll have a 10 by 20 tent. You can really see how things work. You get to interact with the customer. It's a great foot in the door for selling your stuff. So if you've got stuff that you've thought about selling and you want to get involved, you need to contact Tom Penninga, and his contact information was in our newsletter. Tom's here waving his hand. I don't know if Tom wanted to talk, or you want to say anything about it, Tom, or did I cover it all?
Pretty much. Yeah, four people right now are interested, but we're just going to divide up all the table space by the number of people, and there's $600 will be divided up among the people also. So if you want to have a couple bowls or a couple items, you'll pay us a much smaller fee. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and you get to talk to woodturners for 2 days straight. It's a lot of fun.
Okay. Yep, I highly encourage it. That's how I got started, and it was a great way to get started and kind of see how to do that kind of stuff. You get a really good foot in the door for that. Let's see. Moving down the list, next month, March, our demonstration will be Ron Campbell from AZ Carbide, and we're planning on this being an in-person meeting if the COVID numbers keep going down. It'll be a hybrid for in person and online, and Ron will be demonstrating some of his carbide tools. He also will be giving away a Pro Series carbide tool to one of our members who are in attendance. So that'll be a little logistical thing we'll have to work through, because we'll have people online and people in the room. I don't know if we'll be able to give it away that day or if we'll have to go through and tally everything up later. But he is donating a carbide tool. It's like a $160 tool that we're going to give away to a member. So you'll want to be here next month and join us for that. Ron, I seen you come in the room. Is there anything you wanted to say about that? You need to unmute yourself.
The only thing I'd add to it, it has to be someone in the United States that wins, especially if I'm going to ship it. International shipments are too risky and too costly, so it has to be a member of the club, paid, and it has to be someone living in the United States.
Okay.
Yeah, John, I'll ship to Alaska.
that counts as the United States, huh?
Yeah, or Hawaii.
Last
darn good thing, or Hawaii, depends on where I'm at.
Okay. Okay, so that's next month. We're really hoping to have an in-person meeting if it all goes well. So, yeah. So hopefully we'll see you all next month. Let's see. Do I have anything else here that we need to talk about? I think that is everything. What I would like to do now is probably start our show and tell. So the show and tell. If you've got show and tell, what I'd like you to do is on the bottom of your screen, there's a reactions button, and you can click on reactions, and in there is a thing that says raise hand. So if you got show and tell, we sure would like you to use that option to raise your hand. So yeah, it's the bottom of your screen. There's a reactions tab. Click on reactions and then click on raise your hand. It puts you all to the top of our screen. It makes us easy to find you and to eliminate you from the list as we're going through show and tell. I have some people who have sent some show and tell to me. So I will start with those items, and hopefully they're in the room to talk about them. If they're not, I'll try to do my best here. So starting with show and tell here, this is from Alfred, who is not here. And let's see, he sent me an email. He's from the Detroit area woodworkers. The first bowl here is a double corner bowl made from maple and Sculpt Nove paints and patinas. It's about 9 inches by 4 inches, 9 inches wide by 4 inches tall. So that's the first of his pieces. What else do we have? Here's another shot of it with the lid on. So apparently it's hollow. So that's his first piece. He also has a 3-cornered bowl. It's made from bamboo flooring that was laminated together, and then he both of those pieces he finished in lacquer. And there's another shot of the 3-cornered bowl. So that's Alfred, and he's not here right now. So, but we're showing his stuff anyways. Next up, we have this is me. Mark Zetto gave me some ambrosia maple, and he gave me a couple big pieces. And the only exception he wanted was that he was there when I turned a large vessel. This vessel is 17 inches tall. So yeah, he came out. I think last Monday, and we turned that vessel, and came out rather nice. And so that is it. Oh, there it is with my finial on top that I made for the President's Challenge. But we'll talk about that later. Okay, next up. Oh, and I found this. I was cleaning my shop out, and here I found this lonely pod laying on a shelf. I don't remember making it. I don't know why it was laying there, so I sanded it a little bit and threw some lacquer on it. And of course, there's our ode to Greg Gallegos, which we congratulate him with being in the AAW magazine last month, our current issue. So, okay, next
And
up.
what is that?
That is mulberry. Looks like mulberry. Pretty sure it was a piece of mulberry that had probably laying in the firewood pile. So, let's see. Next up, we got Ron Vincent, who also is not here. He's down playing golf with Jim Rosen down in Florida. So, so I have two. I think he sent me two pictures here of a second. Oh, yeah. Okay, two different ones. This was dyed. I don't know what it is. Kind of looks like maple, and then the other one here, a segmented piece. So those two are from Ron Vincent, who also is not with us today, down in Florida, enjoying the warm weather, I hope.
He's got his priorities messed up.
I know he does. He's got a serious problem with priorities. So I'm going to have a word with him. This is from Nate. Nate Scovin. You, Scovey? I see you come in the room.
Yeah,
Unmute your mic.
I'm here.
Tell us about your piece, Nate.
So I found some side of the road, and it was ended up being spalted. So this piece was just it's only about 8 inches wide, but the spalting and then the cracking on the end of it, it actually didn't blow up. So, and then this one I was playing with copper in the bowl, and I don't know what kind of wood it is. Again, I found it on the side of the road. So, but I just stitched the copper into it, and my wife loved it, so that's hers now.
Looks like Siberian. Looks like Siberian elm.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It was really fun to work with.
Yeah.
I mean, it was definitely it worked really well. So,
very nice.
Very
nice. Let's see, who do we got next here? I have Terry Leifers. Terry, I've seen you come in the room. Tell us what we're looking at here. I'm willing to take a guess that it's a bat, but I want you to tell us for sure.
You have to unmute.
Unmute yourself, Terry.
There we go. Okay, I'm here. Yeah, my brother agreed to turn some bats last year for a guy. Apparently he had about 30 billets and that he wanted turned into bats for his little league team, and he's been struggling with getting them completed, so I took about 5 or 6 of the billets and turned the bat. There should be a picture of a finished bat. Oh, well done. This is also maple syrup seasoned, just starting. So I turned some spiles out of wood, and I tapped one tree last year, got about a cup of syrup, but I used aluminum spiles that you hang a bucket on. I saw this method of turning a spile where you stick it in the side of a 2-liter pop bottle, and then you don't have to cover the bucket to keep the debris out, and it is working a lot better than hanging a bucket on the edge of a tree.
And there's the spile. Let's see, there's the bat.
Yeah.
I didn't have it in order.
Good.
Nice job on the bat.
I had one day of maple syrup or sap flow, and I got about three cups of sap in one day off of 2 trees. And so I think the weather's going to be good for sap flow Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Got to be below freezing at night and above freezing during the day. So looking to maybe this year make more than a cup of syrup because I'm tapping about 4 or 5 trees on my property.
All right. Well, good luck with that. Cool. So next up, let's go to the list here. And Ron Campbell's up next. So let's put him in the spotlight there. What do you got, Ron?
I've got a couple pieces to show y'all. I've had some fun. This is a piece that I don't know why I did this. I just started cutting it apart, and the shadow was a hit. This is again white oak, 22 karat gold around the rim. It's the very top of basically one of my mindless turnings in oak, and I just had some fun with it. And we'll go down here, and here's another oak piece, and I decided it was too thick for me to go through, so I went ahead and dry brush painted it, and I had a lot of fun with it.
Cool.
I'd like to get better at dry brush painting. I just think it's a lot of fun. So that's what I've got.
So what kind of paint is that?
Those are just out of Walmart. They're just a regular hobby paint and dry brushed on. I think I used 4 colors of blue, some turquoise, and some white.
Okay. Cool. All right. Next up, David Bunge. Let me see. I can replace you and put you in there. You're on, David. What do you got for us?
All right, I've got, I did some spindle turning recently. So when I was growing up, we had a rocking chair that we would all sit in when we were watching TV, all my brothers and me. And eventually we kind of destroyed it. You can see the bottom. All right, you can see the bottom pieces, what's left of it. So for about the last 15 years, my younger brother has been going to repair the rocking chair. And finally this year, he asked me to help by turning some spindles for it. So that's what's here. Eventually the square ends will get cut off, but I left them on to help him when he drills some holes. There's some holes needed in the sides of the spindles. So this was really my first exposure to trying to do making identical items. So it was an interesting process. I would say I spent almost as much time laying out and getting all the high points marked accurately and spaced properly as I spent actually turning. But yeah, it was a fun experience for me.
You did a
Cool.
darn good job of it.
Yeah, very nice. That would be a good demonstration someday.
Ooh. Yeah, I would like to see it myself, honestly. Yeah, the real challenge for me is how do you lay out these high points quickly and accurately? I could use schooling on that, honestly.
Yeah. A mark on a stick.
So that's it.
All right.
Yep.
Let's see. Next up is going to be Ruby. Open as soon as he end. There you go. Okay, there's Ruby. What do you got for us, Ruby?
Okay. One thing I did do, I haven't done in a while, is turn a bowl.
Oh,
I had
nice.
a large piece of maple, and it just had a lot of really nice color going through it.
Hmm.
And what I tend to like to do is I put a lip at the top so that it makes it easier to when you're carrying the bowl. And then I decided I better start working on some UFOs. So this one finally got a base.
Wow.
And in preparation for the President's Challenge, I had started on these pieces.
Mm.
Very nice.
And you have to have something to put your finial on, right?
That's right.
And this one, I haven't found a piece of wood I want to make the base from yet.
Nice.
So how did you do the flutes in that?
With a Proxon.
Oh, okay.
Literally, while it was on the lathe, just took the Proxon and after I marked it all out, just made all the cuts going in and then a lot of sanding.
Yeah, I would say so. Nice job. It's pretty.
Yeah, beautiful.
Very nice work. Let's see. So next up, let's lower Ruby's hand and let's.
I got it. Ooh. Hey, Doug, you're muted, buddy.
Okay.
I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
I guess I'm up, so I better do it.
You're up. Yes, you're up.
All right. So in beadbox world, the hospital has asked us for some smaller boxes. These are 2 boxes I made out of 1 box, a kit for 1 box, and I got the full-size one behind it just for comparison. But they're saying that the big boxes for some of the kids is a bit much because they don't have that many treatments and they don't need such a big box. So all I did is I took a stave kit and turned a big box outside wall and then cut it in half and produced the lids and bases for both of them. And then this is a spalded maple bowl that I self-spalded by accident. It was a leftover maple bowl blank that I had stuffed in a plastic bag and forgot about it for a couple months. And I thought it turned out pretty nice. Mm-hmm. And then this is from my Round and Rough series. These are, this was 1 burl and a piece of heartwood that I'm in the process. These just came off the lathe 2 days ago. I haven't started the finishing process, but I thought they were kind of cool. And that's a box elder burl. So that's my share.
So those are Round and Rough. When you have them finished, are you going to rename them Rough and Ready?
Rough and Ready, yeah. Or maybe Round and Ready.
Okay. Good. Those are very nice. Let's see. Next up, we have Charlie. What you got for us, Charlie?
Oops. I've got a Norfolk pine.
Yes, you do.
Hollow form that I did. I got this wood from Ron at one of his retreats several years ago, but I finally got around to finishing it. And pretty simple.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, pretty nice.
Yeah, the knots really came out in a good spot, I thought. Good location.
Yeah.
So Charlie, did you get your lathe running?
Yes, I did. I got it yesterday. I sent for parts, and man, it's a struggle not to be able to make some dust.
I tired of riding a bicycle.
Yeah, so I'm back in business. Thanks.
All right, good. Let's see. So does anybody else have any show and tell? You can speak up if you weren't able to raise your hand. Just speak up and say something, and we'll try to spotlight you. Let's see. If that's okay, if everybody's done, then let's move on to the President's Challenge. I have the President's Challenge was it started out to be a spiral finio, but I kind of changed it in the last letter I sent out just a finio. If you got a finio, if you want to just quick grab a finio real quick, we can still get you into the President's Challenge. And I forgot to talk about we got a giveaway. Hopefully, Dave, you were keeping track of all this. Dave Curley, were you tracking this, Curley, on who? You were? Okay.
Yes, I was.
Okay, very good, because I forgot to ask you about that ahead of time.
Hey,
Otherwise,
Doug,
we'd have to. Go ahead. What's Steve?
Yeah, I had my hand up. I don't know. It went down somehow or another, but I just got a little piece.
Okay, show and tell. Okay,
Yeah.
show us what you got.
Okay. I'm not proud of the shape at all, but it's bamboo. I just got a bunch of that. I don't know if you can see I've been
Go back a little.
putting it in different angles, and there we go. But I guess the way the bamboo shows up, ignore the shape because that's terrible. But
cool. That's a deep
Very
hollow,
nice.
Steve.
you know, it's for a flower thing. Anyway.
Okay. Very nice.
Nice.
Very cool. Yeah, those are really neat. Okay, so now we will move on to the President's Challenge. So I was saying, if you've got a finial or a spiral finial like we had talked about in the original challenge, go and grab it, and we will get you on there. You can raise your hand again. Let's start out with the people who've sent something to me, which is only, I think, one person. I made this one. That's Honduran rosewood. So as a matter of fact, that's my second attempt. My first attempt didn't turn out very well. As a matter of fact, let me grab it here. Let me cut back here. This is my first attempt, and I didn't finish it. I kind of screwed it up. Before I started widening these grooves, I should have parted this off and turned it around, because when I made this, it was like a slinky. Now it's kind of dried a little bit. Whoops, see? There it is. It was really fragile and really wobbly. So I thought there was no way I was going to be able to turn that around and turn the tip on it. So that was my first attempt, and plus I turned it too thin, and I turned it thin exactly where he was pointing when he says, now you'll have a tendency to turn this thin in some areas. He was pointing exactly to the spot on the piece he was working on that I turned mine too thin. So he knew that was going to be an issue. So anyways, there's my second one, which that one also cracked and stuff, but I was able to glue it and keep putting it back together until I got to the final version. There's another shot of it. Yeah, not on the vessel. So I was glad to get one finished. So that was a little harder than I thought. It was a lot of sanding. It's a lot of sanding. So next up is this is from Doug Scharf. Doug, tell us about your piece here.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. This is not mine. This was made by the master that I've been studying under for the last 5 years. But when we were talking about the spiral finial, I mentioned it to him. He goes, hey, here's one that I just didn't quite finish yet. I'm like, thanks. But I thought people would like to see that.
Okay, cool. And then you have some finials here that you've probably turned?
Yeah, I usually have a bowl that take a scrap, turn a finial to see what it would look like on a vessel or small vessel out of a piece of maple first as a maquette before I go chewing up blackwood and ebony. So this is just like a typical bunch that's laying in a bowl. Sometimes it's good just to have them just to see what could look good on a piece you're working on.
It's a good idea. Let's see what else we have.
Practice
What are these?
Now, this is another finial that I'm working on now. These are dried coral, real coral. I'm trying to get them gold plated, and they make a really wicked looking finial. But it's just something else to think about other than a piece of wood.
So,
are they strong enough? Are they strong enough to be handled?
They're strong enough, but it's something that you would, be putting on a shelf for display, not something that's going to be handed and passed around. They're not. Let's face it. I bought them from California. They've been shipped and sitting around my shop for a year or two now, and they're not broken. So,
would you buy them off?
In my shop gets broken.
Did you buy them off eBay?
Yeah, I bought them on eBay, and I learned a lesson. You got to really, really read to make sure that it's not plastic, because they hide the plastic word real well. Because it took me 2 tries to get real ones.
Okay, cool. All right, very cool.
All
so
right.
Let's see. That's all the ones that I have that were sent to me. So now let's move on to people who have their hand up. So Ruby is going to be first here. Ruby, you're on. Show us what you got.
Okay, I was thinking in terms of the President's Challenge. So these were some I had started before an incident kind of took me away from the lathe. So one is a very open top, and from right here, this will just come straight up to a point. And I think you can pretty much see where this will end. And I left the bottoms so that I can fit them into the top of whichever piece I decide I'm going to put them on.
Mm.
And then related to along the same ideas, those are closed spirals. These are open ones that are called pigtails.
Yeah.
So they're just a single twist as opposed to 3 or 4 going up.
Okay. Well,
And
that's
then
a
this
cool
is
idea.
one that I had done a while ago when I was visiting Stuart Mortimer at his home. I made this vessel out of acacia, and I made the finial first out of wood, and then he showed me how to make a form for it, and then we filled it with silver pewter, and then got this little finial off of the pewter.
Really cool. Wow.
So it's and a little piece of black wood that we stuck it onto.
Nice. Yeah. Wow. Very nice.
That's the way it came out in the end.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's really cool. Okay. Okay. Next up is going to be David Bunge, and there you go, David. You're on.
All right, so I did not make a finial. I didn't really have a desire to make one, but I did make a Christmas tree ornament, and I don't have any kind of mini grinder to use, so I took a little different approach. I've been trying to learn how to cut dovetails lately, so using Japanese to cut dovetails. So that's what I used on these. So instead of grinding away the waste, I cut it away with a pull saw, and you can see that it actually lines up perfectly. So you can cut away and pop out like an orange slice shaped piece of wood and pop that right out. And I did it on some really green maple. It was really like cut about a month earlier. So it's still soft and very wet. And then after I cut it, the cut surface was a little bit rough, but that cleaned up real easily with just a sharp paring chisel. So a little time with the chisel, a little bit of sanding, and I was done. So, it's got square bines on it instead of the rounded bines, but actually, I think looks fairly decent. The other thing I did, somebody on the original presentation had suggested, rather than penciling in the marks, how about using some tape? And I tried that, and it worked really well. So this is just some of that painter's tape, cut it down to a 1/4 inch width, and use that to connect the two points, to show the shape or the direction of the bind, and use that to guide when I was cutting. So that's my shot at it. And this is, I think this is my 5th one. So I had a bit of a learning curve too, Doug.
What you want to do, Dave, is keep those little orange slices because you can make a lot of really neat things out of them.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Like if you were to cut one of those in half, okay?
Yeah.
And then attach it, put it on an angle, and you can attach it as a finial coming down that way.
Yeah. All right. Oh, cool. Thanks.
Cool. Yeah, very ingenious, Dave. Okay, next up, Tom Penninga. What do you got for us, Tom?
Oh, intimidated now, but mine was, this is my 2nd attempt, and then rather than sanding them round, I just left them square, and that cut down on my sanding. This is my 2nd one. The first one didn't work out so good, so Yeah.
Cool. Hey,
Got 'em.
you did. All right. So does anybody else have a finial for the President's Challenge? Okay, so I guess that wraps up the President's Challenge and the show and tell. And